Hey, here we are going live time again. Apologize for those of you who jumped on the first time. We had a little webcam glitch, so we're back on and we are live. It is Monday, and it is so rare that I'm able to actually record on a Monday because normally I am traveling to or from a show and hectic and busy. But our industry catches our breath on Monday, and we gear up for a big, busy week in the shop starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, if you're watching this right here with me live. This will be broadcast next week and shared on my Patreon platform and in my weekly emails and all those good things. And there'll be more chances for you to check it out, and listen. But this week, the subject of the week is squeezing, not squeezing in haircut clients. And it falls in the bucket of never, ever, never, ever, ever squeeze. We're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about what my philosophy is on it. I mentioned when we're building business, and 100 by 100 is the book in which we talk about 100 new haircut customers in 100 days. I mention it in $100,000 Haircutter, the subject of not squeezing. We squeeze Charmin. We squeeze oranges for juice. We don't squeeze clients ever. And we'll talk about why. If you're just joining us, chat is open. Don't forget, get your comments rolling, like, share, turn on your notifications. Never miss an opportunity when I show up here to have these conversations. I'm happy to have all of you here. SM UK plays, nice, back in action. Worried for a bit, never worry, we will be back. I was out of town last week, and I am back here. Frankie Ryland, hey, good to see you. Saw you in California just a short time ago. Nice to see you here. Today we're talking about squeezing. We're talking about never squeezing. If you are taking appointments in our industry, another time we're going to talk about my system for never running late. I've been in the business 33 years, and I can honestly say I've never been late for a haircut appointment in 33 years in the industry. And I will be happy to share the why and how of that, the system I use to do that. I have other videos on here that share how that system works. Make a comment in the comments and I'll share a link for that. Maybe I'll put a link up in the description. But running on time, so very important. Not squeezing. If you're a walk-in haircutter, there's no real such thing as squeezing. You're taking walk-ins as they come. People are queuing up one at a time, bang, bang, bang. Squeezing isn't even a conversation. But if you do take appointments, don't squeeze. And here's why. Let me take you through the logic on never squeezing. When someone says, hey, you're fully booked, you don't have an appointment spot, can you squeeze me in? As haircutters, as business people, as people that want to make money, there's that temptation to say, yeah, I'm going to get you in. Don't do it. And here's why. When you attempt to squeeze somebody in, you think you're doing one guy a big favor. And you're not really helping this guy out. You're not really helping this client. You're enabling this client to continue to not make appointments. You're enabling this client. You're letting this client know it's okay not to rebook, not to call ahead, and not to make appointments. So you're not helping this client. But bigger picture, I like to say, when you squeeze a client, you actually shortchange 4 people. There are 4 people who are hurt by your trying to squeeze in a customer. So instead of doing one good thing for one guy, you do 4 bad things for 4 bad people. Let's take a look at it. This discussion at work right now, our company works on the quarter hour and they want us to put people in these empty 15-minute spots. Frankie, this is exactly why you don't do this. Let's talk about it. Here you go. So you're booked and you're busy. You're a professional. You're taking good care of people. Your company has worked hard to create an environment. Your company has worked hard to create a service expectation. Your company has worked hard to create the business that they've built. And you're going to throw it all away on a squeeze. Here's why. When you squeeze, the first person who is harmed by squeezing is the client that's in your chair right now, because you will hustle them through the chair to get them out of the chair to get the squeezed person in. They see it happening. They know it's happening. They know they're getting pushed out fast. So number 1, you've hurt the client sitting in the chair. Number 2, You're going to hurt the client that you're going to squeeze. There is no way you can look me in the eye and tell me honestly and truthfully that a client that gets squeezed in gets your best work, gets your best experience, gets your best conversations, gets your best attention. It just can't be done. You don't do it. We know you don't do it. They know you don't do it. It doesn't happen. So you hurt the person who was in the chair already, and now you shortchange the person you're squeezing. You're not really doing them a favor. You're actually giving them the short end of the stick. And then you shortchange the person after them, because odds are the person after the squeeze was in the waiting room, on time, ready and waiting to be served. They made the appointment. You asked them to make it, and they did. They showed up a little bit early. You asked them to, and they did. They're ready for their haircut on time. They did. And then you're late. And you're late for them because you wanted to help out this one guy who didn't want to follow any of the rules. So you've hurt the person in your chair to begin with. You've damaged hurt the person that you squeezed, and you've hurt the person with the next appointment. That's 3. Does anybody want to guess who's the 4th person that gets screwed when you squeeze, that gets damaged, that gets shortchanged when you squeeze? Who would that be? Boom. That's the hair cutter. The hair cutter gets the short end of the stick. Now you're stressed. Now you're crazy. Now you're rushed. Now you're feeling anxious because you know you hustled somebody out of the chair. You know you're running late for somebody else. And you know the squeeze client just didn't get a fair shake, and they didn't deserve one in the first place. New comment was, how can we handle people who place that awkward pressure to squeeze in without offending? That's a great question, and I've got a great answer. Everybody who's listening to this video right now, and there's 9 of you currently according to the little data up in the corner. I want you 9, all of you. I want to be able to hear it in my ears. I want 9 of you to repeat after me. On the count of 3, say the word no. Just say no. Can you get me in? No. A simple, straightforward no. I'm sorry, I don't squeeze. Well, why don't you squeeze? Well, if I squeeze people in, 4 people are inconvenienced and disadvantaged by that squeezing it. And tell them what I just told you. Tell them I got to hustle somebody out of the chair. I got to make somebody then late. The squeezer gets less than my best effort, and it stresses the heck out of me, and I'm not able to do my best work. I think the best answer to how you do this without offending is, why would they be offended? Why could they be offended? Why should they be offended? They shouldn't. You should be offended that they have the nerve, the gall, the chutzpah, the attitude to expect you to squeeze them in, to expect you to compromise what you've worked so hard to build. I think one of the biggest pieces of this is knowing that the haircut and the service experience is therefore compromised. You've worked so hard to be good. You've worked so hard to take care of clients. You've built a brand and a reputation on what it is that you do. And if you look at it big picture, if you do $20 haircuts, and Ivan likes to do math with 20, I'm not saying haircuts should be 20. I just like to do math with it. If you built a business around a $20 haircut, you know you're shortchanging somebody if you squeeze and if you hustle. Thoughts on this? Anybody? What do you got? I recorded a bunch of video before I got online here tonight, so my voice is a little dry, so I'm doing a bunch of drinking here. I hope you understand. But I think it's really important. I think you should have a sign. If it's an appointment-based shop, I think you should have a sign. We do our best to do our best. Therefore, we don't squeeze people into appointment spaces that are not large enough to allow us to deliver the service in the manner in which we hope to serve you. Something like that. I just made that up off the top of my head, but I think that might be a great, simple way to respond to that. That's why I'm a faithful subscriber. Appreciate you, bud. Thank you so much. Yeah, just a sign on the wall. We don't squeeze. Here's why. And point to the sign. Just point to the sign. Saves you having to say anything. I think this is so simple, and I recognize, please, I understand. I totally get the fact that for many, many people, This is very, very hard. I don't want to make light of it. I don't want to be flippant. I don't want to make it seem like this is just so slam dunk easy. But I think when you approach it from a perspective of understanding, cheers. Thank you. For when you approach it from a perspective of understanding the impact that it has on your business, it's more than just one $20 haircut from some guy that wants to get in. It's a bigger picture about kind of your operational attitude behind the chair. And, part of this then leads into the conversation. If you're getting a lot of requests for squeezing, you're heavily booked. And I know that many of my regular listeners, many of my loyal tribe out there knows where I'm going next. I'm going to say, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, if you're too busy, you're too cheap. So I think we need to address, in the context of the squeezing conversation, the additional question of, why are people needing to be squeezed? And the answer is, you're over capacity. The answer is, you're over full. And my favorite and best and the world's number one way to manage client flow is with a price increase. A price increase is ideally designed to scare off some traffic, to open up your book, to give you a little breathing room, and to give you a little bit of air. Now, I don't want anybody out there to mishear what I just said, because I think it's very possible for somebody to hear, hey, if people want to be squoze, just charge them more. And that is not what I'm saying. That is superbly and extremely not what I'm saying. The price increase is a way to lighten up the book so that you have air, so the people that don't rebook and the people that don't book appointments, when they show up on the porch, you can say, dude, I can't squeeze you, but I can take you at 2. I can't squeeze you, but I have an opening at 1:30. I'll put you in if you want to pop back. All of a sudden, we're able to accommodate people in a smoother manner. Oh, you haven't heard that one before. Okay, if you're too busy, you're too cheap. That's like one of my core mantras, because it's an indication of where you're at and how you're playing the supply and demand curve. Real simple. If you're too busy, you're too cheap. And if I can help you with a price increase, hit me with a DM and let's jump on a call and let's have that conversation. People know how much I love to talk about it, how passionate I am about raising those prices. You need the books. I'd love for you to have them. Where are you located? Let me know, because the books are available on Amazon. You can buy those anywhere in the world on Amazon. And I ship from my website anywhere in the world, depending on where you're at. The shipping is a little more expensive getting them out of the country, but I also have them available digital, and I can send them digitally anywhere in the world for a grand total of free. There's no shipping on digital goods. So anybody else got questions on this whole subject of squeezing or not squeezing, as the case may be? Love to kick this around a little bit. Chat is open. Love to hear from you. We're going to stay on here only a couple more minutes because we're coming up on 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 on the East Coast. Clearly, Monday night's a good time. We got a good number of people that are able to be here with us tonight to participate in this no squeeze conversation. If you have joined in late, excuse me, I encourage you to wind back just a little bit and hear what we're talking about. But basically, it's the idea that when you attempt to squeeze in a client, you're compromised. California, Amazon's your best bet. Go for it. Clipper Guy or Ivan Zoot on Amazon, 100 by 100 and $100,000 hair cutter. I also have 3 more books that are up there on Amazon. Big Busy Barbershop, Bigger Big Busy Barbershop. Those are my 1 through 52 and 53 through 104, 2 years worth of marketing tips and business building ideas. And then I've got a sales book up there on Amazon as well. So there's a bunch of good stuff. And I'm currently working on the next one, working on the next title. So it's going to be some good stuff coming after that. All right, guys. If that's what we've got for comments for tonight, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I thank you for being here. We're going to put a bow on this and wrap it up. This is live tonight, but it is the subject of the week for next week. If you guys are familiar with how I've been doing this now, I've got one subject that I address in all of my platforms every week. We cover it in video here on YouTube. We cover it as an audio post on my Patreon page. The link will be posted later in the description here. We cover it as a text blog on clipperguy.com, and we talk about it live in the Wednesday night meeting. I would love to have any of you that wish to join us participate. It's a Zoom chat on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time every single week, and you are all welcome to join in and participate. Follow the Patreon link that will later be posted in the description for information on where you find that Zoom chat link and to join us. But it's a weekly inspiration, sales training, business building, motivational meeting for everyone. Mike Lowe says, went up $10 and lost 2 headaches. Lost 2 headaches. I love it. You didn't lose 2 heads. You lost 2 headaches. That's the quote of the day, my friend. Everyone else pays the increase and still tips, and freed up my schedule a little. Mike, my friend, that is exactly the way a price increase in the haircut business is supposed to work. It is the antidote to stress. It is the antidote to anxiety. It is the antidote to too busy to handle the things you need to handle. You lose a few headaches, and I thought that was a beautiful way to put it. Not heads, but headaches, and life is better, and you're making more money, and it's a beautiful thing, and God bless America, and that's why I love this business. Frankie, you're welcome. And also, how do we deal with the clients who have a family member who wants them to be squeezed in during their appointment? You know what? I don't care if you come in with your brother-in-law. I don't care if you come in with your dad. I don't care if you bring your kid in with you. A request for squeeze is a request for squeeze, and the answer should always be no. The answer should always be, you made one appointment for one haircut. Now, there is a window here, and I don't want to touch on this, but we're not breaking the squeeze rule. And that is, if a guy's got an appointment for a haircut and he brings in his brother or his kid and says, hey, can you do my brother or my kid at the same time? If you provide a full service experience, if you shampoo and you cut hair and you rinse and you line and razor edge and you do beard work and you do all of these kinds of things as a part of a haircut, that might be a 30-minute experience. And if he comes in with a buddy and says, hey, can you squeeze him in? The answer is, I can give each of you a haircut only. No shampoo, no rinse, no beard trim, and no razor work, but I'll bang out a haircut for you. Now you got 2 15-minute appointments. That's not the same as trying to deliver your full experience in a shorter time frame. So there may be a way to play that if your service experience is designed in a manner consistent with what I just shared. But if it's not, don't even attempt to do it. It's just not worth it. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being in here. I hope this was a great topic. I hope it added some value. We got some good input and good feedback from the community, which is always enjoyable. All right, now you're cracking me up. What if they have a note from Jesus Christ himself? Well, no. I would still, however, if Jesus wants a flat top, because he's normally coming in long, if he wants a flat top, I think the other clients might be willing to give up their spot in order to be witness to this divine inspiration of haircutting. But, I just don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, we need to be prepared for it. And every rule needs a little bit of flexibility. Isn't that the case? No, it's not. Everybody waits. I don't care if you're the banker. I don't care if you're the plumber. I don't care if you're the man from the gas station. I don't care if you're the Pope. If we're a walk-in shop, hit the queue. And if we're full, we're full. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful night. AAC 480, right back at you, my friend. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I'm going to sign off. We'll see you again next week. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video, turn on your notifications, go to the link in the description I post later, and join us online at Patreon, patreon.com/Ivan Zoot. Look forward to seeing you there. Take care, all. Bye-bye.